Motorists are getting rinsed by local councils for minor traffic offences that are costing us millions. More than 10 million households now live in areas where councils have been given powers to hand out penalties to motorists as high as £105 a time. And we're not just talking about parking fines handed out by overzealous jobsworths who willingly spend each and every day making people's lives miserable. No, this is much worse, because this means that traffic infractions, which used to be the sole purview of the police, now become under the authority of your local council. And you know how they love a bit of authority. We're talking about fines for getting caught in a yellow box, making illegal U-turns, driving in a bus lane, making banned left or right turns, and going the wrong way up a one-way street. What's the problem, I hear you cry? If it's illegal, you should get a fine. Well, that would be okay if, in fact, you knew it was illegal. Just to explain, I've got fines for almost all of the above while driving in London, where local councils have had this right since 2003. And each time, I had no idea I was committing any offence. And that's not just because I'm a complete and utter idiot. When I was done for driving the wrong way up an unfamiliar street, I challenged the fine because the no entry sign was so high up on a pole that it wasn't possible to see it. They refused my appeal, but the following week I went back to check and they'd lowered the sign to make it more visible by about 6 feet. And when I was fined for venturing into a yellow box for just a few seconds, just before an amber light turned green, because there was nowhere else to go other than to block a roundabout, I didn't bother appealing because sometimes it's easier just to pay the fine. And when I was fined for driving in a bus lane, my appeal that it was impossible to know it was a 50-yard long new bus lane while driving behind a bus because there was only a sign on the surface of the road which is not visible to me, it was declined. The newly designed road was so confusing that it was no excuse, apparently, even though they had built a wide pavement divider which was previously not there. And when I was fined for making an illegal right turn in the West End, where the sign was barely visible in a busy street where signage was so confusing that there was about 50 signs on one pole, once again, my appeal was rejected. The roads in our cities now are so badly designed that most people who commit offences do so by accident. But there's rarely any forgiveness offered. 85 of England's 152 highway authorities now have this power, and you know what they're going to do. They'll buy more cameras and fine everyone more, because it's easy. More than 27 million potential drivers live in these areas. That's 59% of the population aged 16 and over. The trouble is, they hold all the cards. You'd better be prepared to fork out a few £100 a year because they're coming for you.